So, hello everyone, and welcome to this webinar of Incident Management Part 3. My name is Dennis Braganza, and I'm a part of Vision Helpdesk team. And today I shall be taking you through the advanced features of incident management. So, this will be the agenda for today. We shall be looking at time tracking, followed by scheduling of incidents. Then we shall also look at macros and at email templates and their customizations. So now let's take these topics one by one. First we have is time tracking and incident billing. So what is time tracking? Time tracking is basically the time which your staff spends working on a particular incident submitted by a customer. Now, you can use time tracking in different ways. You can use time tracking to measure the performance of your staff, or if you have some agreement with your customers that you will solve their issues within a particular time, or they would pay you based on the time you spend working on their incidents, you can add a time tracking for it. Now, I shall be showing you how you can add billing rates for time-based billing, and I shall also be covering how you can add a time tracking entry manually as well as using the automatic timer, and then I shall be showing you the reports for time tracking. So let me quickly take you to the staff portal. So on the staff portal, as you log in, you would come to the dashboard. So I'll take you to the inbox, and let me just open a random incident from here. Now, within an incident, see on the top right hand corner, we have a clock icon over here with a drop down bar. So when you click on this, there are two options over here. You can either have the time added manually by your staff, or you can have the automated way by starting a timer. So let's assume that your staff has worked on this incident, and after completion and after responding back to the customer, he wants to add a time tracking entry on this. So you can just click on add time tracked. Over here you can define the bill time, the work time, and also the amount. So the bill time would be the time for which your staff wants to bill the customer. So let's say, for example, uh, your staff has worked for 2 hours on a particular issue, but he only wants to bill the customer for 1 hour. So you can add the work time as 2 hours and add the bill time as 1 hour, and then add a rate over here, the hourly rate, let's say $50. He can then add a description over here of work performed. So let's say OS installed on the laptop, and he can add this. So once this is added, a new tab would be added, and under this he can see the time tracking entry added over here, which will display the bill time, the work time, the amount, the staff who has worked on this, and the creation date and time. The second option would be of having an automated tracking of time. So when your staff starts working on this incident, he can click on start timer, and a timer will begin over here. Then your staff can continue working on this incident. He can find a solution for it, provide a solution to the customer, modify the incident properties, and then finally come and click back on this timer and stop the timer. So the system will automatically fetch the bill time and the work time. The amount can be either added manually, or if you want to apply an existing billing rate, that can be done from here. So I have added one billing rate over here, 15 minutes rate. So I click on this, automatically the time would be added over here for this billing rate. Now I shall be explaining you about how you can apply this billing rate in the further part of this webinar. For now, I'll just add a description over here. And click on add. So you can see over here that another entry has been added under time tracked. So you can have your multiple staff members work on a single incident, and those multiple time tracking entries can be added in a list over here. Now let me show you how you can add this rate for billing. So there's this drop down on the top right hand corner under which we have the admin settings. Now these settings are only for the admin users, and since I have logged in as an administrator, I have access to these settings. Now as you scroll down, you will come to the billing settings under which we have the billing rate. Now as an example, I have added one. So when you add a billing rate, you just need to define a title for the billing rate. You need to select the billing method as time base, and then you define the bill rate based on the time. So I have defined $20 every 15 minutes. So for any work performed on an incident from less than a minute up till 15 minutes, the rate would be $20. And as soon as it turns 16 minutes, it will be $40. Then I shall also be showing you the reports. So when you go to the reports section, and under all reports, so there's an option over here of time tracking per department. Then there is time tracking per client, and also time tracking per staff. So if you want to measure the performance of your staff, you can just click on this. You can define the duration, let's say last 30 days. Select the staff member over here, select the domain, and generate this report. So this report will give me an overview of all the time tracking entries added by this staff member. I can see a list of all the incidents over here, the description of work performed over them, and the date, the bill time, the work time, and the amount. On top, I get to see the total bill time, the total work time, and the total amount. The next option we have is scheduling incidents. Now, what does scheduling an incident mean? So, see, the word scheduling basically means having something repeat in future. So, scheduling an incident refers to having an incident repeat at a future date or time. Now, there are two types of schedule. You can have a schedule by duration. So this means that if you want to schedule an incident to repeat, let's say every day or every week or every month, let's say in case of certain migration or certain backups, you can set up the schedule by duration. And if there's a fixed event on a particular date, so you can schedule that incident to be repeated on that particular date and time. Now let me show this to you in the staff portal. So I'll go ahead and create a new incident. Let's say I'll create an internal incident. So over here I'll add the subject as backup of S1 server. Then you can define the properties of an incident over here, and just below that there is an option to schedule the incident. So then over here you can define if you want this to be duration based or date based. If you select this as duration based, you can define if you want this to be once, daily, weekly or monthly. And if you want this to be date wise, you can define the date and time on which you want this incident to be scheduled. So let's say if I select this as 10th August at 3, so I'll just schedule this incident. And once I have done this, I will get to see this under the list of scheduled incidents. Now this would be under the filters icon, and I just scroll down. There'll be an option of scheduled incidents, under which we can see the list of incidents which have been scheduled. The next option that we have is macros. Now, what are macros? So, during the first glance, you might feel that macros are templates, but macros are much more than email templates. Macros have the option of modifying the properties of incidents. So within a macro, you can add a content, and you can also define which properties need to be modified. For example, if you want to change the status or priority or department label, all these can be modified automatically through macros. And these macros can be used by your staff members while responding back to your clients. Now, can you all please mute at your end? Now let's see how we can add a macro, and I shall also be showing you how to apply a macro while applying an incident. So now let's go to the staff portal, and over here on the top right hand corner there's a drop down under which we have the option of macros. So over here you can add macros by clicking on this add macro option. So let me just take one article from our website. So let's say if I want this article, let's say I want a paragraph from here. So just select this, and I'll paste it over here in this content area. So I'll copy the same thing as the title, and then I can define the properties which I want to modify whenever this macro is applied. So let's say if I want the status should be modified to closed, and the priority should be modified to low, and also other properties like urgency, impact, type, location, they all can be modified within the macro. So now I'll go ahead and add this one. So now this one has been added over here. Now to apply this, let me take you to the inbox. and within an incident. So let's say if I'm responding back to this incident, so as a staff, I would get an option to apply a macro on the top left hand corner. So right now if you see this, you get to see this that this area is blank, and the properties over here are like the status is open, the priority is low. When I apply a particular macro over here, you'll get to see that the macro is applied on this, and it includes all the images and the text which were included in the macro. Also, the status and the priority have been modified as defined in the macro. So, this would be a very useful option if your staff is responding to a large number of incidents. So, if you're able to point out those incidents which repeat and you're able to add a macro for them, that would save a lot of time for your staff. The next topic is email templates and their customization. So, what are email templates? Now, these are basically templates which you can add into the system, and you can use these templates or you can have them sent to your staff and to your clients. Now, how to add an email template and how to send an email template to a staff or a client. So, let me take you back to the staff portal. Now, over here, you go back to admin settings, and as you scroll down, we have the email settings under which we have the email templates. So there are multiple predefined templates which we provide you. So you can either modify these existing templates, or you can also add an email template from here. Further, there's also an option to clone an email template. So let's say there's a staff reply and you want to clone this template. You can just click on this option over here and click on clone. So you can give it a new title over here. Let's say staff reply for the sales department or sales queries, and you can define the language, display order, the subject, and then the details which need to be added in the message. For example, the reply message or the incident ID, the subject, department, incident type, priority, status. All these properties can be modified as per your requirement. So you can just modify all these details and you can click on update. So a new template will be added. Then to apply this template, you need to go to the admin settings once again, and under automation you need to go to the workflow. So over here you can just define the template to be applied. So let's say for example I'll add a workflow from here. So I'm adding this for the sales template, and over here I'm defining that in case of a new incident, and if the department equals to sales, I want this email to be sent to the customer. So there's an option to send the email to a client and also to send the email to a staff. So I'll just choose the one for the client right now. So I can just search it over here. Staff reply for sales queries. And I can go ahead and add this rule. So whenever a new incident comes in for the sales department, automatically this particular email template would be sent to the customer. So this is all about email templates and their customization. So we are done with the presentation part. You may type in your questions over here so we can get them answered one by one. So Lisa has a question for us over here that can I set macros for each department? So yes, we do have this option of setting macros department wise. So let's go to macros. So over here, there's an option of a department over here. You can just select for which particular department you want this macro. So this macro will be applied on that department. And also these macros will be visible only on tickets of these department. Tom has a query that can I include a custom field in an email template? See Tom, currently we don't have the option of adding a custom field in an email template since the email templates are dynamic. I'm sorry, since the custom fields are dynamic, we cannot add them in the email templates. Molina has a question for us. Can a macro be associated with a solutions article? This would not be possible as macros and solutions are two different things, and a micro is totally isolated from a solution. So you cannot associate it with a solutions article. You all. Gerald, we have the option of replying by using a solution. So let me just check if I've added a solution over here first of all. So yes, we have solutions added. So I'll just take you to an incident and reply to it. So while replying, there are two options available. First is you can apply a macro, and the second is you can search within your solution articles. So I can just search with a keyword over here. So let's say these are the suggestions which I get after typing in certain keyword. So once I click on this, I get the option to either add the complete article or add the URL of the article. So let's say I'll add this article. So the complete article from the solution along with the images would be added. And then you can go ahead and reply to your client. Yes, thank you, Gerald. So Lisa has a question for us over here. That is, how can I get email template variables? So I'll just show this to you quickly. I'll go to the admin settings and scroll down to email settings, and here we have the email templates. So within this email templates, we have certain variables. Let's say I'm going to the staff reply, and in this content there are certain variables like this is a variable for incident ID. There's a variable for the subject, for department, ticket type, the ones over here in the curly bracket I'm referring to. So you can contact us and we will provide you with a complete list of variables. Then Molina has a question for us. Can I apply a macro to several tickets simultaneously? So, uh, okay. So, see, currently we have the option of mass reply for tickets available. So, if you want to reply to a group of tickets at a single time, you can use a mass reply option. However, there is no option to add a macro while having a mass reply. So, yes, this is a good suggestion, Molina, and we shall add this to our feature request. So, do we have any further questions so we can get them answered? Then we have a question from Molina, that is there an API for macros? Sorry, currently there is no API available for macros. Tom has a question for us, that what are SMTP settings for? So the SMTP settings are for the outgoing emails. So the outgoing email server details can be added under the SMTP settings. Okay, Tom, I believe you have another question, which is what are email queues? So email queues are basically for adding your incoming email addresses. Let's say, for example, if you have sales at yourcompany.com, so you can add that into the email queue and you can map it to the sales department. So all the emails coming into that sales email address would go to the sales department directly. Yes, Tom, you can have it added for each department. Do we have any further questions? I believe there are no further questions. So we can wind up this session. If you all have any further queries, you can always contact us. Our email address is sales@visionhelpdesk.com. You can drop us an email on this email address, or you can also ping us over Skype. Our Skype ID is vision.helpdesk. We shall be having the next webinar on the coming Thursday, which shall be upon uh, client management and staff management. So we shall be sending you the webinar invite shortly. So thank you everyone for attending this webinar session. Have a nice day.